cloak and no fencing and one or two dogs, not with this group, but just a couple of dogs. And where would I be calling my dog back? Would I be allowing him to get that far away from me? I'd be letting him get that far away from me. Add the word come to this one. So if he's running towards you, say the word come. If that's what you want to do. And somebody randomly calls out Julie, I'm probably going to go, yeah, what do you want? Right? Now, it might be for another Julie. It's not for me, but I'm still going to respond to my name. Or the reverse is, somebody that does know me is calling me, and I don't hear them. So what are they going to do? What's the other person going to do? Call me again, and call it louder, and call me again, and call it louder, because I haven't listened. Or I haven't heard. I'm going to respond to it. Unless I know who you are and I actually am trying to avoid you, But generally speaking, I'm going to respond. So if the dog doesn't respond, either they physically can't hear you, as in Brandy over here. If Brandy's on a scent 6 feet from you, right, with her nose in the ground, absolutely focused, and you try and call her, she ain't coming. Because that focus is absolutely separate to, all of those senses focus in on the one thing. So there's no point in calling in that instance, because you will be in that, or you fall into potentially the brandy or whatever situation. So in that instance, even at that distance, if you make a mistake, and we humans make mistakes all the time, you call them. But if they don't respond, do not call them again. Go to them with a treat or whatever, stick it on the dog's nose and bring them back to you. And then you go, okay, well in that instance I'm not going to do it again and set myself up to fail. So you wait, like with Tuscan. I'm waiting. He's got a really good recall at distance. But if he's off over there near those trees over there and he's playing with another dog, or somebody's throwing a ball with a flinger, for instance, I'm not going to call them when he's chasing that ball. I'm going to call him when he's dropped the ball, or the owner's dropped the ball, or he's just milling around and sort of, he's had a bit of a play and he's stopped, and then I'm going to call him. Because I'm setting myself up to win 100% of the time with that dog. Does that make sense? So, and it comes back to a change in mindset. Making sure you're setting yourself up to win, you're setting your dog up to win, not even you, you're setting your dog up to win 100% of the time. Don't call them when they're not coming. If you do fall into the trap accidentally of calling them, like with Tuscan, it's happened once or twice, where my timing's just been bad, I've called him just as he's squatted to pee. Bad planning. Or just as he's picked up something off the ground, just as somebody's thrown a ball to him and I haven't seen him throw it. Like that fraction of a second, that's my bad timing. So I just need to be very aware of that, because I don't want, and in that instance I just stop. And obviously then I wait for the appropriate time and then make sure that I call him when he's in a position that he actually will come to me. And it's a big change in thought process, right? To only call them when you know they're coming, as opposed to taking them to the dog park and then expecting that they'll just come, right? And the other thing is to make yourself the game, And now, so there's a bit of lead walking involved, so you can practice your lead walking. The preference is not to lure, if you can avoid luring as such. Like luring, if you had a tiny little baby puppy, then you can start with treat on the nose and encourage them along. But it's better if you can to get their attention on you and either take it away, put it behind your back or whatever, so that he's with me and I'm watching him, not the ground, right? And then reinforcing when he's in the right place. And I'm not stopping to reinforce. Because if I stop to reinforce, then what am I reinforcing there? Yeah, not the loose leg walking, right? I'm reinforcing the sitting. So, we're walking forward. This is now walking along the street. Walking along the street. Tanner, come! Bring him in. And what I'm doing, can everyone see me? What I'm doing is taking that treat, taking the back of my hand, putting it to where his nose would be. I'm not putting it up here, and I'm not putting it down here. I'm just putting it to wherever his nose would be. I'm reaching up for the collar, and then I'm releasing the treat. Why would I be reaching for the collar? Sorry? Yeah, to some degree. They go and I've got this great, fantastic recall in the park or wherever under, high stimulus environment and all the rest of it. And then what happens is, Tanner, leave it. And then they call their the dog in because they want to now leave the park. Hey. So they call them in and they go to give them the treat. But this time, when they go to give them the treat, they reach up to grab the collar. Dogs learn by repetition and association. So the only time, it only takes a few times before the dog realises that this coming in and getting the treat is great, coming in and getting the treat is great, but coming in and when I see this hand come up, dog goes, I don't think so, and backs away. And then you get that dog that's right there, and you're doing this, trying to grab for the dog. Tanner, don't go into the Shar-Pei picnic, because you won't like it, and neither will they. So, it's all about bringing him in to me. So it's easy for me to reach up for his collar. Not doing this. So I'm trying to reach for him out here. I'm not bringing him in and getting him to sit either and reaching for the collar. Eventually that will become a natural thing that he probably will come in and sit. And particularly if you've been working with sit as please or just sit as a nice calm, you know, if that's the default behaviour at home, then he'll come up and grabbing for the collar. So I do it 100% of the time. Tanner, come. Bring him in, reach up for the collar, release the treat. Okay, you want to give that one a go?
So how would I
That's about calm behaviour. I'll actually talk to you about that if you like at the end.
Yes, please, because he just wants to eat them.
Yeah.
And if we're on a lead in the street and they come up behind you or whatever, it's a surprise. So
Yep. Okay. Are we doing this? And I'll come back to that. That's actually just